Welcome to our very first October edition of One-on-One Sports. I'm Thomas Hale.
And I'm Ellie Whittington. Fall is right around the corner, bringing with the best sports season of the year.
But before we get into that, Ellie and I step up to the plate for the quick hitters. On Wednesday, former UConn head coach Jim Calhoun announced that he would be returning to basketball to be the consultant for the new men's basketball program at Division III University of St. Joseph in West Hartford, Connecticut. His main responsibility will be to recruit players for St. Joe's first competitive season in 2018-19. So Ellie, what do you think of this move for Calhoun?
I think it's a great move. You know, coming out of retirement, he had a great coaching history, and why not continue on and build this program?
And I'm just looking at it like he's got an opportunity to really, like you said, build a program from scratch and bring it up for nothing. And I'm thinking, who wouldn't want to play for this guy? He's got 3 national titles and an NIT. He's got the name Jim Calhoun. People know who he is. He's just, that's his name. Right. Everyone knows him in Connecticut too.
I think it's a very good move, and when you're saying to build up a program, you need someone with experience. And I don't really know what the question is here. Why would we not be excited for this?
Exactly.
And for this Division III school, obviously it needs some help getting its feet off the ground. And he's familiar with Connecticut. He's familiar with the people there, the coaches in the high schools, kind of the recruiting process already. So I think it'll be a good thing.
Yeah, and what a nice story it would be to see these guys eventually win a championship or something like that under his arm. That'd be just such a cool story to see. So hopefully a lot of success comes to him in the future.
Yes.
Absolutely.
On Thursday, Bayern Munich fired their manager Carlo Ancelotti after an embarrassing 3-0 defeat to PSG in the Champions League. Ancelotti is widely considered one of the greatest managers of all time, with 3 Champions League titles to his name. Thomas, do you think it was the right move for Bayern Munich to fire such a legendary coach?
It's tough, but I think that with the expectations that Bayern Munich puts on their team, on their coaches, on their players, I think that it was the right move just because they expect to win the Bundesliga. They expect to be the champions, and they expect to make a run in the Champions League.
I think it's just a little too early. I get what you're saying, but you can't just a few losses and say we're done. I mean, people in Europe take soccer so seriously.
They do, and that's the reason why they fired him.
And I think coming from an American side of things, it's hard to see because we don't fire coaches so quickly when it comes to American football and other sports. So you're looking at, we're debating something totally different in a different, kind of
And I mean, when
area.
you see a coach get fired after the first month, 2 months of his job, he only lost a couple games, and really, they're not doing that poorly. They're only in second place, but I think that Bayern was looking in their future. They had a tough 3-0 loss against PSG.
How do you take what are the coaches that, he's one of the only coaches that has won, 3 Champions League. Why are you just discounting him right now?
Yeah, I mean, like I was about to say, the loss to PSG was just huge to them. They lost 3-0. That's one of the biggest routings for a Bayern Munich team in a long time, and that's not something they're used to. So they want those expectations to make the finals.
Let's talk about something they are used to. He implemented this new formation on the field, and I think that team is used to that. So you bring in a new coach, and you kind of screw everything up. So why do this?
Now's the time to screw everything up, though. Bayern's getting old. They've got about 8 to 9 players on their starting roster that are about over 28 years old. And
so you're wanting change?
Yeah, I'm wanting change. And Ancelotti, he wasn't doing a whole lot to bring in younger guys and start a new era of players. So I think it was about time for him to move out, and that's
well, I kind of disagree, but I guess in the future we'll see how the team handles this, and if a new coach does bring success, and who will that be?
Yeah, we'll find out. With another big-name player in Carmelo Anthony heading from the East to the West, it looks like yet another NBA season with a stacked Western Conference and an unimpressive Eastern Conference. So, Ellie, do you think it would be a good idea to scrap the conference system and for the playoffs just pick the top 16 teams?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
In the NBA, this conference system, as far as teams being stacked, is getting a little ridiculous. You're seeing the same teams over and over. We need something new and a little bit more competition.
And how can you make an argument nowadays that the East can match up to the West? It's just like the West is just far without a doubt so much better, and they're taking all of the East superstars. And I mean, in the last 5 years, only 2 to 3 teams have won over 50 games in the East. And every year for the West, it's easily 5 to 6 teams.
Yeah, so just I am all about change in sport, and that's what I think makes sport so exciting. Is it is ever changing, rules are changing, and let's change this. Let's start a new playoff system. And some people are, will be very upset about this.
But I think it's more fair. The best teams get in there, and the best team will win.
Yes, absolutely.
Simple
and I'm tired. This might be controversial, but I'm tired of this Warriors-Cavs thing, and just.
I want to see Western players get to play Western players in the finals. It's only right.
Yeah, that sounds cool to me.
All right.
On Thursday, the Texas Rangers broke ground on their new $1.1 billion ballpark in Arlington. Their current stadium, Globe Life Park in Arlington, is only 23 years old, opening in 1994. This comes after the Atlanta Braves built their new park to replace 20-year-old Turner Field. So how do you feel about this new trend in baseball stadiums?
Yeah. There's a new thing in sport management. It's called the arms race. A little sport management lesson for you.
Yes.
And that's when teams always want their stadium to be the biggest next best thing. They want to bring in more fans that way. And I mean, simply, that's just the way you got to go nowadays.
I don't agree.
Yeah?
Because I think the reason it is the arms race, and it's you build a new stadium, you sell tickets. Let's take the Braves, for example.
Okay.
They built their new stadium this year.
Right.
The team, frankly, sucked.
Yeah.
And people were still going to see the stadium. So even though you don't have a good team, and they've been rebuilding for 2 or 3 years now,
Absolutely.
whatever, and they built this new stadium. I guess I am being a little partial here. I grew up going to Turner Field, being from North Carolina.
Yeah.
You know, the Braves are the closest team.
There's a lot of history behind it.
Yeah, and another thing for me, this is getting personal, but I'm trying to see all the baseball stadiums.
Right.
I'm right now at 15 out of 30.
Okay,
so
that
now
makes it tougher to get around like that,
so now
especially
it's-
for someone with the historical background of
Right.
baseball like you. You want to see those historical stadiums.
So I've already seen Turner Field. Now I have to go back to Sun Life. Now I've been to Texas Rangers. Now I'm going to have to go to a new stadium.
Yeah.
I can't even get all 30 before we have a new
Do you
stadium.
not get more excited about that, though? There's a
No.
brand new stadium.
Oh,
you
my
can
word.
see all the new glitz and
Well,
glamour.
I'm trying to get to Fenway before they tear it down.
Oh.
I've been to Wrigley, which is, there's just history. Baseball is America's pastime, and there's history in these old stadiums.
Well, hey, I think that baseball needs to modernize a little bit, as we've talked about before, and
No.
everything should be bigger in
Oh.
Texas as well. Nothing wrong with the big stadium in Texas. They deserve it.
The Astros do too.
Yeah, they do. They do, actually. We've gone 4 for 4 from the plate, but when we come back, our NBA experts try their luck as they discuss NBA lottery reform. Stick around.